Good morning, honors students. Today I want to give you kind of an easy Friday, and it'd mainly be if you need to catch up on things in my class or any other class. Just please use your class time well. I am going to ask you to do one Romeo and Juliet related thing today. I need to create, unfortunately, we're going to have 6 classes after this week, and we're not going to be able to read all of it. You guys are honors students, so there will be a little bit of reading homework the last 3 weeks. But basically what I'm going to do is kind of create like a suggested reading thing, giving you things that you can skip. And the beauty of Shakespeare is you can find pretty much any of his plays, copies of it for free online to read. And it's really worth your while to read it. I'm going to make my son read it this summer, whatever we're not able to cover. So anyway, what I want you guys to do today is make sure that you have those questions done where I asked you guys to write the 7 questions on the William Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet from pages 328 through 331, 332, I think is what it was actually. And we will do some stuff, a little bit of that on Monday. And you guys are meeting on Monday, just periods 2, 4, and 6. They're doing that because we have 2 4-day weeks in a row. And so just this week, because this coming week, because we won't have school on Friday, we're just bumping it ahead where you guys will meet on Monday and Wednesday for the regular 55-minute classes. And so what I'd like you guys to do for your assignment is to read the Act 1 prologue for Romeo and Juliet on page 334. And I would encourage you guys maybe to take a quick look at page 333 to kind of get a list and idea of characters. We are going to have Zoom meetings pretty much for the remaining 6 classes where we'll read some of it together, and then you'll be assigned like a reading assignment. Your grade is going to be mainly participation based, okay? So just show up, finish strong the last 6 weeks. Shakespeare is awesome. I'm so sad that we don't have more time to get into this, but I think it's going to be fun. I think you'll appreciate the story. And but do read the prologue. It's 14 lines, and read the little thing in the brackets and italics at the top, which kind of explains what the chorus was and why Shakespeare and Elizabethan theater productions would use a chorus. Maybe you've been in a play before and were part of the chorus. They sing the commentary of what's going on in musicals and things like that. And so it's like a big ensemble sort of a thing where everyone is in unison. And so I'd like you guys to read it. And it's 14 lines. It is actually set up like a Shakespearean sonnet. Shakespeare is also famous not only for his plays, but his sonnets, 14-line poems. And so what I'd like you guys to do is read those 14 lines. And what I want you to do is go in there like it's a gold mine looking for ideas. What this chorus does is basically gives you a preview of what you're about to read. And it does contain a pretty big bombshell spoiler, which you may have already known. But I'd like you guys to just look through it. You don't have to paraphrase each line unless you really want to, but I want us to have a discussion on Monday about what the chorus is saying. I'll have just a series of questions, see if you guys are able to answer it. It's remember when you're reading Shakespeare too, to really look at the way that the ideas are presented. Don't pause at the end of a line if there's no punctuation, especially like end punctuation. Like full thoughts are kind of signified by periods, exclamation marks, semicolons. Commas usually are a continuation of a thought. So read from punctuation mark to punctuation mark, especially that end punctuation. he writes poetically. He uses our Yoda talk. He uses inversion. He uses inversion, meaning he flips subject and predicate around. So watch out for that as well. And also, whenever you see numbers, it's really wise to take a look at what it's referring to. Now, it will be challenging if you've never read Shakespeare before, but it's really worth your while to take the time and to read it in the original language. And just appreciate it. So with that being said, you'll notice that there's 7 footnotes on page 334. Make sure that you guys read those, and I want you to show up on Monday with just a good idea of what those first 14 lines are talking about. And I'm going to end this video by just reading it and wishing you guys a happy weekend, okay? So here we go. 2 households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these 2 foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage, the which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. Okay, so those are the lines I want you to try to make sense out of what is being expressed. It really kind of encapsulates what the story is about, and some things that are going to happen, and what they intend to do is actual stage production. And remember that Shakespeare was intended not just for the page, not really for the page, it was intended for the stage. But the stories are so powerful, and there's important life lessons to learn from it. So if you come across a word that doesn't have a footnote and you're not sure what it means, like Naught, look it up. Look it up and see what it means. Okay, expand your vocabulary through Shakespeare, and it's always important. It's to just expand your vocabulary. It will help you if you ever sing hymns in your church. Actually, a lot of famous hymns were written kind of in the King James sort of language, okay, which the King James Bible came out shortly after Shakespeare became famous and started making plays. So anyway, that's enough talk for me. No written assignment, just showing up on Monday, having looked at those lines, being called on and showing evidence that you've thought about it. That's your assignment, basically. Okay, so if I were to say, Josiah, tell me one idea that you think is contained in these 14 lines, you'll be able to do it. If I said, Emily, okay, paraphrase every line. Now, I'm not going to do that, Emily, but anyway, just show up and be prepared to discuss it, and then we'll start reading the actual play. So have a good weekend, guys, and God bless.